Yes, but the way of approaching thermodynamic discipline complicates considerably things. We talk about temperature, heat, energy. Then this thing called entropy that characterizes system but never decreases and relates to disorder. You don't know exactly what it means, but you are going to do a lot of complicated calculations around it. It's unfortunate because entropy is a very interesting concept. I'm Ikrame, and that's what we will discover in this video. Firstly, entropy is a measure of disorder. To explain this principle, we will run this experiment.
I'll take a box of roads. I'll throw it on the table many times. There is one way in which the roads will be in order, but there are many ways in which the roads will be in disorder.
So, the tendency of things is to tend toward greater disorder. Actually, this disorder that we are talking about is related to the number of possible arrangements that the atoms of a system can take.
Now I have two dice of 6 sides. If I throw them accidentally, I can have 1, 3, 6, 4, or 5, 6. Brief, there are 36 possible arrangements of these dice.
Let's take these dice like atoms, but you have to know that the matters we encounter every day have something like 10 to the power 24 atoms. I mean, just think about the number of possible arrangements. It will be a huge number. The more the number of possible arrangements increases, the more disorder increases, and so entropy increases. So that explains why entropy increases from solid to liquid and from liquid to gas, simply because of the disorder and the number of possible arrangements. Let's talk about spontaneous processes. Spontaneous processes are those that occur without outside intervention. And all these processes occur spontaneously in the direction that increases entropy.
Let's run an experiment to explain this last statement. I heated the water until it reached 100 degrees Celsius, and then I left it in the room with ambient temperature. And I measure the temperature every 5 minutes. And here is the graph that represents the results of these measurements. We notice that the heat is gradually reduced, and after 2 hours it reached 20 degrees and stopped falling.
This spontaneous process is increasing entropy by decreasing temperature. Finally, according to the second law of thermodynamics, the entropy of an isolated system is always increasing. And since the universe is the biggest isolated system, its entropy is increasing, and so the disorder is increasing. And maybe someday it will attain the maximum disorder. Maybe it will be the end.